everybody. Welcome in. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting live here on the Fan Sports Network out of the Findlay Hyundai studio. Caden Formaster here and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Mark. We had some good baseball last night. We have some state soccer going on today. You know, this whole week, I feel like we've just been in the thick of it with the NFL draft over the weekend, NBA playoffs, and more. It's been busy.
It's a busy time of year for sure, especially as we, getting ready for the state tournaments. We do this in the fall when it comes to girls soccer, volleyball, football. Things really pick up, and then in the wintertime it goes to girls and boys basketball a lot that we talk about and that we cover. And then in spring, it's softball, it's boys soccer, baseball, track. So many spring sports, and some have started their state tournaments, others start next week. But it's a busy time of year. Graduation coming up. My goodness. Wow.
We're busy.
Yeah.
We got a lot to do.
It is.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing, though.
No, it's a good busy. It's very similar to when we talked with Daniela Iacobelli on our show a couple of weeks ago. I asked her about the grind of the Epson Tour. The ladies were out here last week for the Copper Rock Championship, and I asked her about the grind, and she goes, "You know what? It's a good grind." She goes, "The grind to me would be like going to the same office every day, seeing the same people every day, and doing the same thing every day." She goes, "It's a grind, but it's a good grind." And that's how I kind of feel for the month of May. It's busy, but it's a good busy.
It is. It's busy, but it's a good busy.
Yeah.
With that said, we have a lot of stuff coming up, not only today, but just throughout the month, right? State baseball, state softball, obviously talking about the NBA and NHL playoffs. And then we're getting into, right now we're in the thick of it with baseball, if we're being honest, with MLB. So there'll be things to talk about that way. Off-season basketball is going to be happening before we know it, as well as NFL is already going strong with the draft just barely happening. So speaking of some off-season football stuff, we're going to have a guest coming up here in the next segment. One of our local high school athletes that's just tearing it up already on the football field at his young age. So
young, and when Caden says young age.
Yeah. So we're excited. We're going to have a guest coming in here in about 15 minutes from now. We'll have him hopping on the mic with us, which is going to be really exciting. Is Jason Baum coming in today?
No,
did
Jason
you
had
with
to.
that?
I did reach out to Jason, and he had a trip that he had to make, so he won't be in today, but next week for sure.
Okay. Well, shout out to Jason Baum with Bay Equity Home Loans. He's your guy if you're in need of a loan or refinancing. Go hit up Jason on his website, baumloans.com. That's BAUMLOANS.com. We'll miss him around here today. We love having Jason in studio with us.
Yeah, we do.
Well, with that said, should we talk a little bit about baseball and softball from last night?
Yeah, let's do it for sure.
So first things first, I want to remind as we're getting ready for that, remind our radio listeners that you can watch today's show on YouTube. Go to the Fan Sports Network YouTube page. You'll see our live video. Click on the live video, and that's us right there broadcasting the show today. So if you want to get a little closer to the action, go find us on YouTube. But until then, Mark, let's talk some region baseball and softball. Let's start with baseball from last night. Now, Game of the week, Desert Hills and Dixie. I would call that a somewhat close game. Tell me more about it, though. The final score 7-2.
Yeah, no, it was a close game, especially for the first three innings. Musgrave and Yates were kind of going head-to-head in a pitcher's duel, both looking really good, both lefties looking really good on the mound. In the top of the third, I believe, let me pull up the box score here, but I'm pretty sure it was the top or the bottom of the third. Now, Desert Hills did strike first in the top of the third.
Yeah.
They got one run. They were able to push a run across. Dixie answers that with 5 in the bottom. Mistakes made by both Landon on the mound, defense behind him. just some mistakes were made for sure that helped. And Dixie hitting the ball where people weren't.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the best, obviously the best offense in baseball is hit it where they ain't, right?
Yeah, right.
Hit it where they ain't. And that's what they did against Musgrave. There was one ball that was really squared up for a ground rule double, but everything else was just hit it where they ain't. And hats off to Dixie for doing that. I always say, make contact, put it in play, put stress on the defense, even if it's even a routine ground ball or a drag bunt or just something. Put the ball into play. Don't strike out. And credit to Dixie, they did. They put the ball into play. They found some, 5-6 holes between third and shortstop where the ball just kind of, they Musgrave got the ground ball that he wanted, but it was where somebody wasn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
That's going to happen in baseball. Just put the stress on the defense to have to make a play. Dixie did that. They put 5 across the board in the bottom of the third. They put 2 in the bottom of the fourth. Desert Hills did answer with 1 in the top of the 6th, and that's where the final score comes in at 7-2. Not many highlights from the Desert Hills offensive standpoint, for sure.
A couple of runs come across. That's it. 1 in the third, 1 in the 6th.
Yeah, no multi-hit games for anybody. Now, on the other side of the field there at Dixie High School, Dixie had multiple kids with multiple hits. Boston Vest with 2 for 3. Orton, 2 for 3. Blake Watson, 3 for 4. Logan Levitt, who... Now, he went 2 for 3, but he made the defensive play of the game. Oh, my goodness. A hard ground ball. And when I say a hard ground ball, it was a shot.
Mm-hmm.
It was a shot. It took a high bounce. He went down on his butt, but was able to backhand the ball.
That's always a tough play in itself.
It was, man, I wish we had that replay. But he digs it out somehow with a backhand on his butt. He spins around on his butt. He gets up. I don't know if he got fully to his feet. Maybe it was I can't remember if he got just to his knees or if he got up on his feet. But he just threw a missile over to first and got a speedy Cole DeCastro out. It was Cole DeCastro who was hitting the ball. Right when it happened, I told Devin, I said, that is our Morgan Pest Control defensive play of the game. No question about it. And then after that play, we had 2 runners thrown out at home plate that kind of rivaled that play that Logan Levitt did at third.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were discussing the awards, I was like, you know what? We got to go with Logan Levitt. I think Titan Tate threw a kid out at home plate for the Thunder. And I can't remember who the outfielder was that threw the Thunder player out at home plate. But I told Devin, I said, I think those two plays kind of cancel each other out. Because they were both awesome.
Just boom, boom plays. Yeah, you love those.
That play at third base Logan Levitt made was a play that I don't know how many third basemen in Region 10, 4A, or even in the state of Utah make that play. It was that good. It was that good.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So congrats to Dixie. 7-2 game. It was a good game. Again, started off as a pitcher's duel, but then both teams, got a little traffic on the base paths, but Dixie just had more traffic and was able to take advantage of some Thunder mistakes.
Yeah, that happens. So Dixie gets the win, 7-2 off 10 hits. Let's look across the region to Cedar in Pineview. Another one of those that's a lower scoring battle.
Mm-hmm.
Pineview gets the win, 5-1. Cedar, they just have to keep those errors at bay. They had 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
One in a game, you might let that slide, right? But 3 of them's tough. So Cedar with the 1 run in the third, but Pineview started off with a run in the first, tacked on a couple more in the fourth and the fifth. So they take that one 5-1 and improve. They get 2 wins this season. And I know there's kind of at the bottom, there's those 3 teams that are kind of fighting for wins when they can get them.
Yeah.
And so when they're playing each other, obviously those are games you need to win to maybe further yourself in the RPI.
Yeah.
Hopefully get up a couple of notches in the last week of region. So Pineview, that's a big win for them.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll play dividends
Well, yeah, we'll
in
see
the
where it ends
future.
up.
We'll see
Yeah.
what happens with the RPI. Obviously, the RPI is locked down. We don't have a
Right.
shot at that right now. So,
That'll be released on Saturday.
yep.
So we'll definitely, make sure that you have all your social media platforms set to check the Fan Sports Network on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook. We will have the bracket out and the schedule probably first thing Saturday.
Yeah.
Probably
We'll
first
get
thing
it. We'll get it out as soon as we have it. So.
The other game in Region 10 was Hurricane at Crimson Cliffs, and as expected, Crimson gets the 10-0 run rule. Now, it did go 6. A lot of crooked numbers being put up by Crimson. They scored 2 in the bottom of the second, 3 in the bottom of the third, 2 in the bottom of the fourth, and then 3 in the bottom of the sixth, which got them to that 10-run rule after 5. So they didn't play at 7th inning. But, man, again, not many highlights, very similar to Desert Hills, Dixie.
Right.
Not many highlights on the Hurricane side. But I will tell you, West was 2 for 4 for Crimson. Petey Soto Jr. was 2 for 3. Tate Maynard was 3 for 4. I'm sorry, Ty Maynard was 3 for 4. His brother was 1 for 3. So we'll do a little shout out to Tate as well. So yeah, a lot of multiple hit players for Crimson Cliffs. I'm telling you what, man, I've seen every Region 10 team play now live, up close and personal. And I love Crimson, I love Dixie, and I love Snow Canyon.
Yeah.
Those 3 teams.
And it's so hard to just pick one, right? Because they all do it in such a different way, right? You have some teams like, for example, Dixie. You have a solid ace up there on the mound. Casey Bell. You have Boston Vest, who is just an extreme power hitter. Then you look at Snow Canyon, who has Sam Lindsay as a power hitter. Not to mention, really, they have a couple of guys that anytime they're at bat, it's like, okay, there's a stretch of that lineup where it's like, if you hit that stretch coming up at the top of an inning, it's like, oh man, this is not a fun stretch.
All 3 teams do everything really well. They all have really good pitching. They all have a solid defense, and they all have a lineup that has multiple hitters batting 400 and more.
Right.
And higher, I should say.
Yeah.
So
more than just like the top 3 in your lineup, too.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic. I do want to give a shout out to Hurricane, though, for something, because there's something Crimson Cliffs is super good at, and that's just tearing an inning open and scoring 5, 6 runs or whatever. The most they scored was 3, right?
Yeah.
The Hurricane was able to find ways to get out of innings with only allowing 2 or 3 runs. Yes, they did get the 10-run rule in the 6th, but it was just the 10. It was 10-0.
And see, here
that's
we are.
a game Crimson could go
now,
and go 20-0. You know what I mean?
Like, I totally get what you're saying. However,
there is always a but.
Yes, it's a fancy but. However, I have a difficult time giving a shout out to mediocrity.
Sure.
I mean, they still got 10 runs. And again, this is no slight to Hurricane, even though it kind of sounds like it is, but it's not. It's really just elevating Crimson. That's how good Crimson is.
And that's what it is. And that's what I'm trying to point across. I think that we're actually on the same page. Is Crimson is very, very good. And I'm just saying, hey, Hurricane was able to hold that very good down to 2 or 3 runs.
Yeah.
Because Crimson is good enough to go score 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Still end up being 10-0 though. Crimson gets the win at home.
Yeah.
They'll head to Hurricane on Friday to wrap up the series and really this season before we head into playoffs.
Yeah, we got many senior nights. Again, Dixie's was last night. Crimson's was last night. And was the Cedar?
Is that Pineview?
At Pine. So Pineview had theirs last night as well. So there'll be 3 more senior nights coming up on Friday. So again, if this is a great time, if you haven't gotten out to maybe support a kid in your church class or your neighborhood or whatever, and they're a senior, this would be a good night to go out on Friday night if that's the
especially if you live in
team.
Cedar, Hurricane, or
Desert Hills.
Desert Hills.
Yeah, Snow Canyon had theirs last week.
Yeah.
So
Crimson Cliffs is looking to be a lock for the Region 10 title from where we're at right now. If they win this one, then it's over and done with. It's Crimson's. So if not, Snow Canyon is right there. So let's look at softball.
Yeah, Snow Canyon's a big Hurricane fan this week.
I know it. Snow Canyon's really pushing for Hurricane. Some big numbers coming out of the softball scores this week. This was, should I say, from yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Desert Hills gets the win over Dixie, 16-0. Cedar over Pineview, 18-8. And Crimson Cliffs Hurricane, that one is 13-8 in favor of Crimson Cliffs. So really, the teams that are killing it are continuing to kill it. With Desert Hills obviously going 16-0 there, you can tell that they're on top for a reason, right? Between them and Snow Canyon, who has a bye this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's looking interesting right now for softball as well.
Yeah, for sure. Those were some lopsided scores for sure. Yeah, like you said, Snow Canyon, Desert Hills, kind of atop of the region right now, both with one loss each to each other. Crimson 7-4, and then the Lady Reds at 4-6. The Lady Tigers 4-7, Dixie Flyers 1-9, and the Pineview Lady Panthers at 1-10. So
a Desert Hills win is co-region champs for Snow Canyon and Desert Hills.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if they played like they did on Tuesday, then they'll lock that in.
Yeah.
So, state soccer going on. A lot of games going on right now. If we get updates, we'll try to update you throughout the day. But one of those games, I know Snow Canyon Skyview game going on right now. You can watch that game. We have the link to it on our website. We had the people from Logan area saying, hey, we're going to be streaming that game. So if you guys want the link, here it is. So we put it up on our website, so it's easy for you to find. So go to thefansportsnetwork.com, click on the Region 10 tab, and you can watch that Snow Canyon Skyview game.
Yeah, absolutely. Easy to find, easy to watch.
Yep. So with that said, we might talk a little more region coming up later, but I
do see our guest out there.
We have a guest here, so we're going to head to a break. When we come back, we'll have our guest in studio with us, so stick around here on the Fan Sports Network. It's From the Bleachers.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers here on the Fan Sports Network. Mark, it's okay. You can leave that.
It is.
It's okay that that's in the background.
Panther in studio. Go ahead and do the intros, though, Caden.
Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
There we go. The good intros out of the way. But the best intro coming up in studio with us, we have Brock. He's a part of Pineview Panther Nation. Brock Harris is with us as well. Welcome into the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, Brock, I looked at your bio on Max Preps, and I think these numbers are legit, too. 6'5".
Yep.
200 pounds.
210.
210. He's getting bigger.
I got bigger. Put on some
He's
weight.
getting bigger.
It's not a bad thing.
And you're a freshman right now.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Dude,
Yeah.
that's...
It's legit.
It's funny, too, when I pulled up the Max Preps, and I just told you and your dad what I do as well as a side gig. I'm the PA announcer for Desert Hills.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is I pull up Max Preps, and it says Brock Harris's highlights versus Desert Hills High School.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I remember that. I remember that kid. Yeah. Anyways, you're a fabulous player. I can understand why you're getting some attention. Tell us, before we get into the offers and stuff, and I'll let
we'll
Caden
talk about
kind of
that
address
in a
that in a minute. But tell us so far in your young high school career, the moment that stands out to you. Maybe it was a touchdown. Maybe it was just a first down catch. Maybe it was a pancake block. What's the play or the game, maybe even too, that stands out?
It was our first game against trying to think their names. Yeah, Salem Hills.
Okay.
And it was like the third play of the game. We're on offense. I get a deep post, and it's a touchdown, and so 80-yard touchdown, and
wow,
it gets posted everywhere, and that's what gave me confidence to keep that pushed me to the edge.
That's awesome.
So how did you end up getting into football in the first place? I mean, obviously you're still very young, right?
Yeah.
But when did you kind of get into the sport and really realize, like, hey, I'm pretty good at this?
Probably when he was in third grade.
When he was 6 years old.
And he was probably 2 feet taller than everybody else. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, actually, in second grade, I played up with my brother in third and fourth grade team, and then my dad coached me all the way through till like sixth grade. And so and then we moved down here about a year and a half ago, and
Where'd you guys move from?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, Portland. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. How do you like St. George so far?
Oh, I'm loving it. A lot better than Oregon.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Was it because of the COVID shutdown and stuff like that? Is that kind of what led you guys down this way?
COVID, weather, a lot of factors, family too.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that'll definitely. I mean, that'll do it. But so let's talk about kind of this off season. I mean, you've been to a couple camps and stuff like that. What's it been like to be a part of this process of being in these places where people are trying to recruit you and colleges are there? What has that been like for you?
I got a lot of good coaches telling me what to do. Like, just gotta stay humble, keep working, keep doing what I'm doing, just stay in the gym, keep eating right, keep going throwing with the guys and stuff like that. So, yeah.
We called a couple of Pineview games this year, and I don't think that I realized. I mean, I remember calling your name in with catches, receptions and stuff like that, but I don't remember the fact that you're a freshman. I think I just figured he was a junior or a senior. I don't think that I really digested the fact that you're a freshman.
Yeah, it was.
So here's some of the numbers that Mr. Brock Harris put up. Now, this is
let's
off of
hear it.
Max Preps. I hope they're correct. So this year, as a freshman, you had 604 receiving yards, 18.9 yards per reception, 32 receptions, averaged over 75 yards per game, had 5 touchdowns. So as a freshman, that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So who has been reaching out to you? What college have you been talking to?
So we've been getting some messages and Twitters and all that stuff from like Clemson, Penn State, and you can help me out. Notre Dame. I'm invited to their camp too.
And a bunch of schools I've never heard. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
No, those are some big names.
Yeah, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
so from the dad, or his first offer was Miami.
Yeah.
So
all right, that's a big one.
As a freshman, can they give you offers? Or is it just verbal? But it's just verbal, right? Verbal offers. And so Miami was the first one to throw you an offer.
Yep. Yeah. I was at practice with my 7-on-7 team down in Portland because they're based out of Portland, and my coach taps me on my shoulder and he's like, "Hey, Miami's about to offer you here this week." And I was like, whoa. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That had to have been way crazy, especially with the program as historic as that one, right?
You know, it's funny. There's been several Region 10 players this past month or so that have been being reached out to. I know Cyrus Polu with Desert Hills. He went to Notre Dame to visit them, like on campus and stuff, and things like that. So we are really rich in Region 10 when it comes to football, and some of the schools that these are Power 5 schools, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
With a lot of legacy tied to them as well.
Yes,
So
exactly.
does that ever kind of get to you where you're just like, man, these are big schools, or are you just kind of like, hey, let's just soak it in while I can and enjoy the moment? You know, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it's more soak it in and just have fun while the process is going, and just stay humble and keep working.
Now we won't say anything, okay? But where do you lean? Like, do you have a favorite college? Like,
I grew up watching Oregon, but I have not made my decision whatsoever.
Oh yeah, you still got plenty of time.
Yeah.
no, and I understand. Yeah, but Oregon.
That's where I'm from, so that's what we grew up watching. But
and they do have the coolest unis.
They do have some really cool uniforms.
They do have some cool unis, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, I'm a big Ducks fan, so
Sweet.
I'm not gonna complain about that answer one bit. But I mean, Oregon right now they've been a team that has a good turnover of guys going from high school to Oregon to the NFL.
And
right?
there's been some Region 10
Yeah.
players there too with the
Panay
Sewell
who
with
went
Panay
there,
and Noah.
And Noah just barely got picked up by the Bears, I believe, right?
yeah.
So they're no strangers. But again, I mean, that's just how it is right now with I would say with the state of Utah. I feel like Utah's getting a little bigger and better at football.
Definitely.
Are you noticing that as you're playing against guys? I know that you said your 7-on-7's based out of Portland, but but are you seeing guys from Utah as competition now at that level that you're already putting yourself at?
Oh yeah, for sure. Cyrus, Palu, Ocean, and Stewart. They're getting a lot of attention too. So I think, and hopefully, guys on my team will start getting looked at too, since a lot of other guys are getting scouts coming to games and stuff. So I think it'll blow up a lot more too.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, the year before you showed up was a big year with a few different guys going to Power 5 schools, right?
Yeah.
So Pineview's no stranger to having some big football talent there. So, what are you looking forward to? You know, regions coming into play this this fall. The state's looking a little different though. We're going back to Region 9. There's going to be a third region fighting for that state championship. When you look at that as a whole of yes, you got to focus on region play, but when the playoffs come, there's even more competition fighting for that trophy. Are you guys, and I know it's a little early because the season hasn't started yet, right? But you personally, do you feel like that extra competition is some good motivation coming into the next football season?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely because we've had a tough season last year, but I'm confident in our coaching staff and our players that we'll be fine, and I think we'll do a lot better this year for sure.
Now, correct, was Tyler Brown, was he a senior or is he an underclassman?
Yeah.
So he moved on. And Abe Rosenland?
Yeah, he's a senior too.
And he's a senior too.
Yeah.
So who was the JV QB last year?
So it'll be Levi Shaw was the JV quarterback, and also Adam Moore and Colby Richardson helped a little bit too. But Adam Moore and Levi are fighting for starting spot for
battling
varsity.
for that spot. Yeah. And I'm assuming, do you have some pretty good reps with both of those players? You'd be comfortable with either one of them kind of throwing it to you? Yeah,
because I played with Levi
through
in 8th grade and 7th grade when I first got here. And, so I think we'll be fine. A lot of chemistry, too.
What's your favorite Region 10 stadium that you like to go to, other than Panther Field Stadium?
I always play good at Pineview home.
Okay.
But I had my best game last year at Desert Hills.
At D Hills, yeah.
I did, and most yards there. But I think I played really good in Hurricane too, though. I like their field too. So Hurricane for sure.
Yeah. Last year we were out at Hurricane, and I'm trying to remember who they're playing against, and it might have been Pineview? Nah, I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. I wasn't
but
on that call.
They had the lights go out
That was
twice
us.
on
Oh,
us.
that
Was it you
was
guys?
us.
Right. I
Yeah.
remember that. I wasn't there, but I remember
now
hearing
that
about
was
it.
an experience, wasn't
Yeah,
it? You
it
probably
was.
have you ever had anything like that happen in a game?
No. Yeah, no, we
Where
were all
the
just,
lights just die on you.
Yeah, we were all just sitting on the benches talking, like trying
Yeah.
to stay stretched out. And
'Cause
I
it
was,
would've
I was
been, like,
wondering what you
black out
guys
there.
did because I
Yeah.
mean it happened twice,
Mhm.
half hour each time. So you guys had a full hour in
Yeah.
the middle of the game to just do what, So
Yeah.
I was wondering from the player side, what were you guys doing during that?
we were just trying to stay warm too, and also just hydrate and just trying to just stay ready for whenever they come back on.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, from a radio standpoint, trying to cover a half an hour of action with no action was a lot of us just sitting there saying, well, I guess we're gonna tune into all the other games going on across the region. We'll let you know what's going
That's all
on.
you can
Yeah,
really
but-
do.
You and Keith were on that call.
Yeah.
I remember getting the word from you guys. I was doing a home game for Desert Hills, and I get a text or whatever, some communication that the lights went out in Hurricane, and I leaned over to the radio crew that was in the other press box over there, and I'm like, yeah, the lights went out at Hurricane. And all of us were like, what? Putting our palms up to the up
Yeah,
in the air. But
it was strange. It was strange, but
For sure.
yeah, those things kind of happen sometimes.
Mhm.
But I'm super excited for what you're doing, and I've been following your journey on Twitter and just watching all these different schools. Kind of say, hey, by the way, these guys talk to me and are interested. And I'm just like, man, that is so cool that
Yeah.
we have an athlete right here in our own region here in St. George that's already playing at that level. What do you feel like when you're going up against some of these guys that are even seniors and making their way to college? Do you feel like you are already kind of playing up to their level?
Oh yeah, I think so. But I think there are some underrated guys in our region for sure. But yeah, I think I can play to a pretty high level with a lot of the older guys too. So I'm not struggling with any confidence at all.
Now, are you just sticking to tight end for right now, or do you play in anything else?
So this year will mix me at tight end and slot. So they'll mix it up a little bit.
Okay. No defense, just playing on the offensive side.
Yeah, my dad wants me to, but no, I think I'll just stay to
Play some linebacker or something over there.
DN.
Some D end. Yeah, that'd be a good spot.
Yeah.
You got the size for it. That's for sure.
Yeah. But
now, would you be I read the bio on Michael Mayer, the tight end that just got drafted from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And one thing that I read about him, because he went to my team, I'm a big Raider fan, and one thing that he does is he likes to block as well. He in fact he seeks out that safety at the next level where he can pancake them.
Yeah.
But he's also got really good hands. Do you like out that too? Do you like kind of leading your running back out there or whoever it might be and looking for that safety or looking for that corner where you can just lay him on his butt?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, youth, I was just lead blocking everything.
Yeah.
But I think I got really good hands. So right now, just want to work on blocking as well with Coach Shaw. He was the O-lineman coach last year, but he'll be offensive coordinator this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just working with him, getting blocking down and all the calls and stuff. So
Got good hands?
yeah, for sure.
Feet?
Yeah.
Legs?
Yeah.
Fast? What's your time? What's your speed?
40?
Yeah.
About 4.8, 4.7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we had someone in our YouTube chat ask, do you have a number of how many offers you have gotten so far, verbal offers?
Yeah, 10.
You're up to 10.
10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh dang, dude.
Yeah, that's pretty
That
good.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's not from JUCOs either. We're talking about Power 5 schools, right?
Hey, I don't care.
Don't discredit the JUCO
Yeah.
offers.
Oh, yeah,
but
I think anytime you can play at
Any
the
offer
next
is
level,
great.
and you and I have talked about this on our
100%.
show, you play sports at the next level, whether it's a JUCO, a D3, D2, D1. You were a very good high school
Yeah.
play athlete. So, but yeah, the fact that they're Power 5 schools with such tradition, like Caden said, Notre Dame, Miami, Georgia,
Yeah.
my goodness.
yeah,
That's
especially
awesome.
schools like Georgia that are out there winning national championships.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be kind of a cool thought, right? So,
But yeah.
what are you looking forward to most this upcoming season?
Just want to prove that Pineview's coming back, really, because of the season last
It was
year.
a tough year, huh?
Yeah, but I think definitely just to prove that we're still in it.
How do you deal with that internally? Like you go out, you put your blood and your sweat on the line, you play as hard as you can. and you don't get that W, and maybe not even really compete in the game as far as the score is concerned. How do you deal with that after that on a Friday night at 10:30 at night?
Man, we just go back and just fix what we can, and just try to do whatever we can.
Do you put a lot of pressure on yourself? Like, I should have done this more. I should have done more of this. I should have done that. Do you put more pressure on yourself, or are you like, you know what? I did everything that I could.
I try not to, but sometimes I do get down on myself. But I mean, it's the next game is next Friday, so I mean, just gotta rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Who's a corner in region that you go up against? That's just one of the like a good matchup for you because they're like, man, they're just that good.
Oh, Brooks Esplin, Snow Canyon.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
But yeah, he was tough, man. I had that one good catch on him, but he's tough. I think he should have gotten more attention than he did. But
they had a really good. They had a lot of athletic kids in that secondary.
Snow Canyon was tough.
Snow
defense.
Canyon did, yeah.
Yeah, they were solid.
Yeah.
They were solid. Man, I love being able to chat with you and get some more ideas about what it's like to be in your shoes right now, because you're in a very unique spot, and I definitely hope you don't take it for granted over the next couple of years, because the offers will continue to roll in, and you're just going to get bigger and stronger, and it's pretty exciting. What in the next few years would you say are your goals?
Gain weight is a big one, but maintaining my speed at the same time. So so just coaches tell me to just gain it naturally, but just keep working. I think I'll be fine.
We have some more comments on the YouTube line. We've answered them, but this person wanted to know how tall you are.
6'5", basically 6'6", but
still growing.
Hopefully not. I mean, don't want to get like 6'10" and be like a giraffe.
And then also too, same person asked how old you are.
I just turned 16 in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. You got a long road ahead of you.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
yeah, you got a lot of football left.
Does Coach Eves ever come after you to play basketball?
Yes, actually, we had to talk about him. With him, I meant.
Yeah.
But I didn't end up playing. But I might come back next year and play. We'll see.
6'5", 6'6". I'd be knocking at your door. I'd be taking your dad out to dinner. Like, hey, how can we get him to come and play some hardcore?
Hey, and there's some good guys coming back next year with Griffin Shepard, Nash Schroeder.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are some ballers. So you mentioned Adam Moore. He was pretty solid off the bench. So yeah, I think Panthers gonna have a good crew next year for basketball.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
But you know what? There's a different level though too, where you're not just some random 6'5", 6'6" kid that's playing football. I mean, there's also 3 years down the road you need to think about as well, where you are getting those offers from those Power 5 schools, and I don't really put all this out there, but you get a torn ACL or you get an Achilles or something like that. That changes things, and so you know what? Don't play basketball. Don't let him play basketball. You focus on football.
Yeah, we'll see. I might.
You don't
come
have
back
to
and
listen
play.
to that guy.
No, dude. You're so good at it, man. I saw your highlights. I remember calling your game. So, anyways, but if I was Coach Eves, I would be knocking. I'd be knocking on your door for sure.
Yeah. Bright road ahead of you.
Yeah.
Brock Harris, thanks for coming in, man, and we appreciate having you here. And we'll be checking in with you over the future years, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Let's take a break. More when we come back here on From the Bleachers. Stick around.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in Southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine, not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers, broadcasting live from the Findlay Hyundai studio. It's Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Great interview there.
Oh, great interview.
Brock Harris, one of our up-and-coming stars here in Region 10 athletics.
Yeah.
Football, tight end. He's got a bright future ahead of him, for sure.
The first thing that stood out to me was, first off, I love the kid's attitude.
Yeah, he's got a bright attitude about it.
He's confident but not cocky.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I really kind of caught on with him. Another thing, too, is when they got here, we were doing the first segment, and he's standing outside the window here. And I'm like, my God, that kid's tall. And he is. He's 6'5", 6'6".
He's tall.
And he's legit. Those aren't numbers that they're just throwing on Max Preps to catch people's attention. He is legit. 6'5", 6'6".
You're a solid 6'1".
I'm 6'2".
6'2", yeah.
Maybe now I'm 6'1" because you kind of shrink.
Well,
as
you're a
you get
little
older.
higher than me, and I'm 6'1".
Yeah.
You're just a little taller than me. So I'm like 6'1". I'm like right there.
Yeah.
With shoes, I'm probably easily 6'1".
Dude, that kid's tall.
But he's a solid 6'5", 6'6", for
You can
sure.
tell he's a good athlete. And again, I just pulled up some of the highlights, and it was the Desert Hills High School game or the Desert Hills game, and just watching those highlights, I was like, oh, I remember calling Brock Harris's name for sure.
Yeah, he's one of those kids you're not going to forget.
I just didn't
and
realize,
especially as he gets older, and yeah, Pineview had a rough season last year, and I think part of their rough season is we don't always look back at their games and look at them as being a memorable team because of that. But he was a big part of the success that they did have.
Got a text from a friend of the show, Patrick Amico. Patrick, I hope you don't mind that I'm calling you out. And he was addressing the basketball banter that we were going back and forth with, and I agree with Patrick because Patrick said he needs to play both. And I agree with that because different sports build different muscles and make you a much better athlete. However, the fancy butt, right? However,
the fancy butt.
Coaches need to be better about allowing kids to play multiple sports. I'm talking about the head coaches and the coaching staff. There's football coaches, there's basketball coaches that get annoyed that they're not at their camp because they're playing football or they're playing basketball. And it does, I mean, you can visibly see it and you know, you hear about it. And I mean, I agree. I think, you know, kids should play multiple sports, you know, certainly when they're younger as well, to see what they're going to fall in love with. But I will say too that high school head coaches, whether it's football, basketball, you know, they don't make it easy for great athletes to play multiple sports.
Correct. Now, I did pull up his huddle highlights. Like, we got it playing on our YouTube right now. So if you're on YouTube, you can see some of those highlights coming through right now. Yeah, he's a solid kid, super athletic, and able to catch some that one right there. Able to catch some difficult throws, and yeah, it's exciting.
Thank you for playing not the Desert Hills ones. I appreciate that.
We'll see if it gets there. No promises on anything.
Look at that, man. He caught that up at the highest point that he could catch that. He broke
There's
a
your Desert
couple
Hills one right there.
He broke a couple of tackles and then took it to the house. One-handed catch
One-handed
right there.
catch.
Dude, that
drags
kid,
him along for another 7 yards.
I gotta say, I did not think this kid was a freshman when I had the roster.
When you're out there calling names and stuff, right? You don't think about that.
That he is. I can see why he's getting looks from several different colleges, and not just colleges. I mean, we're talking Power Fives, where we've had other players here in Region 10 getting reached out to. You know, he mentioned Cyrus Polu, as I did. I follow Cyrus and his family really close, and they were flying out to Notre Dame about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
to visit campus, and he's a sophomore.
Yeah,
he'll be a junior year this coming, and also Stu and Ocean Taufa are also getting those big-time looks from those big-time Power 5 schools.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Cyrus. He's going to live on in our Fan Sports Network studio on the
will.
banner behind me here. It's a photo from the state championship game. And
number 33.
He's up there pretty prominent on
Yeah,
that,
he is.
So, anyways, there's a few of the highlights from Brock's huddle account and more. So, pretty cool though. It was great having him in studio with us and able to talk about everything going on right now in his life and in the football world in his life. It's crazy. There's so much good that's going into his life. I'm really happy for the kids. So, well, we still have a full hour of the show coming up, Mark, where we have a lot to get into. We've kind of been stuck on local stuff all day, which has not been a bad thing. It's kind of nice to be able to talk local for a solid. We're 48 minutes into the show, and good interview, talking some local baseball and softball. I'm waiting to see if I can get some of those soccer scores to come in. We haven't seen any coming in yet. When we do, we'll update you for sure on some of those scores. So hopefully I can find some of that out before the end of the show, and we'll talk about state soccer, see who's moving on.
Hey, so I wanted to also bring up Utah Tech baseball. Now they are headed on the road to take on a 3-game series with Abilene Christian. Now this is the first time that they've met in baseball.
Really? These two teams? Yeah. All right. That's good.
I was just looking through here, and this weekend series will be the first ever meeting between the Trailblazers and the Wildcats on the Diamond.
Nice.
Yeah, so interesting. So they'll be on the road.
We know they've met in other places. They play football and stuff too. So,
and you can watch this game on WACinternational.tv or ESPN Plus. You know, you can watch that game as well. And just a couple of little shout outs here when it comes to Utah Tech. Now, they won their 400th game. Utah picked up its 400th win in the program's NCAA era in the series opener versus UCCS. That was back in March of 2019. Utah Tech is currently 490 and 340. So they're looking to they're on to the next 400. We're talking local, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep it local.
I like it.
Senior Tyson Fisher, who played at Dixie High School.
Yep.
Became Utah Tech's career home run leader in the series finale versus Portland. This is a couple of months ago. This is back in February. With the first of his 2 home run he connected on as a 3 for 4 day and 5 RBIs. Fisher is now the leading Trailblazer home run leader history-wise. Fisher's power surge. Dating back to last year, Fisher has gone deep in 11 of his last 45 games, including 7 games this season. And the senior just hit 3 extra base hits versus UVU this past weekend, including career homer number 39 in Friday's season or series opening win. So anyway, just wanted to kind of keep it local. You know, Tyson Fisher is having a great career at Utah Tech baseball. This is his senior year. So kind of cool, you know, that we've been talking about local all hour long.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's not forget about our university here that has local players as well. Tyson Fisher finishing up, 4 years as a Trailblazer.
Yeah, that's impressive. Especially being a local kid from Southern Utah and holding the all-time record in home runs.
It is pretty cool.
That's a solid record to hold.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. But again, yeah, Utah Tech on the road, Abilene Christian, first time they've met the Wildcats on the diamond. You can watch that on ESPN+.
Very good. Just a quick update on Snow Canyon Skyview. I do have that game. Again, you can watch that game on our website over on the fansportsnetwork.com. It's live right now. And currently, Skyview leads 2-1, and it's halftime. So, hey, Snow Canyon's coming in as the lesser seed. That's a tough one to win. So if they can find a way to pull it off, that'd be a good win for Snow Canyon.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, for sure. Go Region 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome that you mentioned Utah Tech in baseball, and they're coming close to the end of their season as well. That's coming up here really before we know it. Softball's been killing it too this season. They've had an amazing run this year so far. Their next game, by the way, their total right now is 31-16. Their home record is 16-4.
That's good. That's pretty good.
So you'll take that anytime you can get it. Their main losses are coming from tournaments where they're playing much bigger schools.
Sure.
Schools that are recruiting a lot higher recruited athletes, So the fact that they are playing as well as they are is fantastic. Their next game is against UVU. They got a series coming up here in St. George. Friday at noon is their first game. Saturday at noon, and then again Saturday in a doubleheader at 2. I know the Ironman is Saturday, so take that as you will. I know that streets are going to be blocked off here and there around town, but if you can avoid the north side of St. George, where most of that action is going to be happening, and you can get over to the university, there's some softball games on Saturday.
I just might try to do that this weekend.
It's their last game of the seasons before they get into the championships.
Why wouldn't I?
Well, why not? The WAC championships are going to be held in Phoenix, so just a heads up on that. That's going to start on the 10th. So, yep, the doubleheader against Utah Valley will wrap up the season for the Utah Tech Trailblazers softball. I want to see if I can pull up if I have it here. I don't know if I do, but I want to see if I could get the WAC standings.
Oh, yeah. Let's try to pull that up. This is great live radio,
I know,
by the way.
Great live radio. Great live radio.
That's when you know it's live, is when we say, hey, hold on for a second. I'm pulling something up. We want to pull up the record.
I know, right? You know what's funny is I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about radio, and I just was like, oh, let's hear what they have to say. They're like, the interesting thing about radio is you just don't want dead air, right? Like that's like every radio person's nightmare. And I'm like, hey, you got that right.
It is true.
You definitely don't want dead air. Utah Tech, top of the rankings right now for WAC in softball. They are number 1. They're 2 games ahead of Grand Canyon. Utah Valley, by the way, sitting just about in the middle. So if they can get these wins over Utah Tech, then if Utah Tech can get the wins over Utah Valley, our very own Trailblazers are going to be walking away with the conference title.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Conference title in softball, especially when, what's it been, 2 years into 3 years now?
Yeah.
into the conference. That's pretty big.
That is awesome.
That's big time. Good softball team here at Utah Tech. So let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have more. We're going to be talking NBA playoffs and more. So stick around with us here on From the Bleachers. More coming up next.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in southern Utah. Get instant notifications on
Welcome back in, everybody. It's From the Bleachers, broadcasting live on the Fan Sports Network from the Findlay Hyundai studio. It's Caden Formaster and Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
We welcome you into the 5 o'clock hour here. Again, a great first hour, a lot of local talk. Able to have a good interview thrown in there. But we move on. Let's get to some of the national stuff going on right now.
There's a lot of that going on.
There is a lot of that going on right now, and that's not a bad thing. So, as we get into it, let's talk NBA right now, shall we? A little NBA.
Let's talk NBA.
I don't. Oh my gosh! All right.
Hey! You got to give it up to me though. I said
Why?
if the Lakers have a chance of winning a game in San Francisco, the first game was
the one to
Lakers.
win.
That was the one to win.
You're right. We talked about that yesterday.
And hey, hats off to the Lakers. I know you don't want to take your hat off, but you got to.
I'm not even wearing a hat.
You got to tip your hat to them. They went to Golden State in a hostile environment, and they took down the Warriors, the favored Warriors. Anthony Davis was just a man among men last night. 30 points, 23 rebounds, 4 blocks, but it seemed like he had 10 because he changed so many other shots. I'll tell you what, if that's the Anthony Davis that shows up every night, sorry, Warriors, you're not advancing. Now, that's the big question, though. Can Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who LeBron didn't have a great game, but it was good enough, especially in the fourth quarter. He didn't have a great fourth quarter.
No.
But it was enough. In fact, they had that 14-point lead that kind of with about 5 minutes, 5:40 to go, that it evaporated with about 1:30 to go.
Yeah.
The Warriors went on a 11 or a 14-0 run, tied the game at like 112 apiece, and then the Lakers kind of gathered themselves a little bit and was able to put that game in the win column. But again, I just really felt if there was a game that the Lakers could steal from the Warriors, it was last night's game, and they did it.
Then they did it. It was a good game. Yeah, and really it was a steal. It was close. It was a really solid game. So you got to give it to them. They lead the series now 1-0, and game 2 is going to be tight. I will say this: if the Warriors lose game 2,
that's scary.
That's scary for the Warriors.
Yeah, it is.
That's very scary for the Warriors.
And again, if the Lakers, Anthony Davis comes out and plays similar to what he did last night, the Lakers have a very, very good opportunity moving forward because, again, he was a man among men last night.
100%. He really was.
He did everything. He dished the ball. I think he had 5 or 6 assists as well. I mean, just had a great game. So maybe the size advantage that the Lakers have, giving the Warriors a little bit of fits, where they didn't have to deal with that playing Sacramento.
Yeah.
They're very similarly sized teams. And the Warriors, I feel, even though Sacramento was a higher seed, I still felt the Warriors were probably a better team, more polished, better shooters, bigger stars as of right now. Who knows where De'Aaron Fox ends up as far as how many All-Star games, how big of a star he becomes. He's
and
on his way.
Be. And Domantas Sabonis as well. He's right there. I mean, I like the team that they built.
I do too.
And they were 3rd seed for a reason. They're a good team.
Oh, for sure.
But the playoffs are just a different beast.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Just because you're a good team in the season doesn't mean you're going to win a playoff series.
The Kings, the Grizzlies, all those higher seeds that are knocked out.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Now here's something interesting. Okay, I'm going to pull up where we're at right now in the brackets, right?
Okay.
First time this has ever happened in NBA history. Take a look there. You will not see in the conference semifinals a repeating seed, meaning there is 1 through 8 between East and West. You have 1 Nuggets, 2 is your Celtics, 3 76ers, 4 Suns, 5 Knicks, 6 Warriors, 7 Lakers, 8 Heat. It has never happened before, ever, that one of every single seed is represented in the second round.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's kind of cool, though, right? Kind of cool. So, yeah, looking at it right there, as you mentioned, the Lakers do get the first win, so they lead 1-0. Denver.
Now, hold on a minute.
Ooh, fine. I'll hold off. I want to talk about Denver, but go ahead.
Who told you about that? You did not figure that out.
No, I saw it somewhere.
Okay.
No, I saw it somewhere.
Dude,
I never said I figured it out.
I know. I'm just giving you crap.
But it's kind of cool, right?
That is kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
Okay, on to Denver.
Denver leading 2-0. Did you get a chance to watch any of that game?
I didn't watch any of that game. I saw the highlights, but wasn't able to watch it.
So, here's the thing about that one. The Nuggets trailed a good portion of that game.
Mm-hmm.
A good portion of that game. There was a point where it was so much fun. It was Jokic, Booker, Jokic, Booker, Jokic, Booker, back and forth. And I want to say it was around the third quarter that was going on. So much fun. It was some fun basketball to watch as those two stars were just battling it out. Well, the Nuggets end up winning the battle. They win by 10, and that was one of those games where, yeah, you just realize, hey, you know what? The Nuggets are the better team.
And
right
it was
now. They really are.
It was the fourth quarter where they separated. Very close game, start of the fourth quarter, but the Nuggets outscore the Suns 27-14 in the fourth quarter to get that 10-point win. Low scoring game too. Now, low scoring, does that, in your opinion, Caden, does that favor the Nuggets or does that favor the Suns?
I think it favors the Nuggets.
I do too. I think that as well.
Yeah. If Phoenix can go out and get hot and just shoot like crazy, Denver can match that pace. Like, don't get me wrong, they kind of did that in game 1. Now, obviously, game 2 was a couple days ago, so we're just kind of rehashing some of this. But yeah, that's one of those series where Denver can match the pace of play of Phoenix. I don't know if Phoenix can match the pace of play for Denver. If Denver wants to slow it down, then it's their game. I feel like they might be a little bit better playing a little slower, just because, again, they have some guys. Their better guys are some of their bigger guys in one sense, right? Now, here's the thing: they're also a very well-rounded team, so I kind of can correct myself for my first statement because they are just a really well-rounded team. Phoenix has the names, they have the stars, right? But they just have to figure out how to make it work together. If they could do that, Phoenix is a championship team.
It is so nice. I smile almost as much ear to ear when the Lakers win as when the Suns and KD loses. I love the fact that they're down 2-0 to the Denver Nuggets. And again, Denver Nuggets, a really good team, but it just makes me smile because Kevin Durant, he was supposed to go to the Suns and elevate them into the playoffs, which they are in the playoffs. They were going to be in the playoffs anyways, but he was supposed to take them to the Western Conference Finals and into the NBA Finals, and I just don't see that happening. They just don't have that chemistry that you need. And KD is as talented as he is, as a freak that he is, I think he brings to whatever team he goes to, other than the Warriors, I think he brings a little bit of some chemistry issues, whether it's he has to have the ball or I don't know. He should have, other than the Warriors, he should have some other NBA championships. He really should. He's that good of a player.
But here's where I agree and disagree. The NBA has so many players that are at that caliber where you can start saying that about almost anybody, right? And it does take a star to win a championship. But the problem is there's so many stars nowadays. You have so many guys that are playing at that high level, right? The Bucks won a championship. Who do they have? Giannis, right? The Warriors won the championship last year. Who do they have? Well, they have Curry. You look at the Lakers. They won a championship in 2020. Who did they have? They had LeBron. Obviously, it was kind of a big back and forth between the Warriors and the Cavs for a while. LeBron on one side, Steph on the other. I mean, every single time that, and KD, yes, was thrown into some of those as well. Every single time a team wins a championship, they have at least one guy that's a star. And just because KD's a star doesn't guarantee him a championship.
Let me ask you this. When he was with the Warriors, do you credit KD more for those championships as a Warrior, or do you credit more Steph Curry?
It's tough. KD
got the MVP.
KD was the Finals MVP. And for that, I would lean towards saying that, yes, he was integral in that. And I feel like Steph winning the championship later without KD was his way of proving, hey, it wasn't just KD making us a championship team.
Well, and Steph had a championship before KD got there as well, so he's done it before and after him.
But it's one of those things.
See, I credit Steph. I think Steph is the cog that makes the Warriors go. Whether KD's on the team, whether LeBron is on the team, and I know he's not, but it doesn't matter who goes to the Warriors. I think Steph is the motor that makes that run.
I think that Steph is like,
he is the
how do
Warriors.
I explain it? To me, he's just like the glue of that team.
Yeah.
And if he's playing really well, everyone just plays really well. Like that's just how it works, right? You look at the years where it's just him and it's like, yeah, you know what? They don't play well. He's the kind of guys where it's like he needs other people around him for them to be spectacular, right? He himself is spectacular all the time. But look where they were when everyone was all injured and it was kind of just him on the team. They were one of the last teams in the conference, right? They didn't make the playoffs that year when everyone was all injured. But when he has everyone around him and they're healthy, then he can elevate that team. When he has those players that are just good enough, he elevates them to be a championship team. I think having KD in the mix there, that's the one saving grace that KD had was Steph, if you ask me.
Now, let me ask you this. Turning our attention back to that Lakers-Golden State, and we'll talk about the Knicks here in a minute, but now they play every other game now until there's somebody knocked out with that Lakers-Warriors. They play every other day.
Yes.
Who do you think that benefits? They're both older teams. You know, they both have a lot of shots that they've taken on those legs. Who do you think that favors? Does that favor the Lakers or does that favor the Warriors, or is it an even match?
I don't think it favors either team.
You think it's an even?
I think these guys are all professionals, and these guys are, I don't know, because I think of myself and I'm be like, man, physically I'm done after game one.
Yeah.
But these guys, they've already played 82 games. Throw in the I guess 4 or 5 or 7. You know, let's see, it was a 6-game series.
They haven't played 82 games.
Okay, well, there
Load
has been
management.
82 games.
Remember, with the new NBA, these players are coddled. They have to have their load management.
Now, with the extra playoff games of round 1 in there, you're pretty close to 82.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
The point is, these guys right now, there's 2 ways to look at it, and it just depends on the player, right? You could either say they're in the best shape of their life because they've been nonstop working out for the last 5 months, or you could say they're tired and because
yawned.
they've been working out for the last 5 months, right? Which one is it? I think both of these teams have guys that rise to the occasion. And because of that, I don't think you can really give the upper hand to either side. I really don't think you can.
Have you changed your thoughts on the Lakers yet?
About winning a championship?
About being in a championship?
No, I don't think they get through
Not
Denver.
yet.
I don't think anybody gets through Denver.
Okay.
And even if Phoenix miraculously gets through Denver, then it'd be, I don't know if anyone would get through Phoenix. But I think Denver is going to seal up the West. If you ask me, I really do.
Well, you're really an ageist. You don't like older teams, do you? You don't like the Warriors. You don't like the Lakers. You're an ageist.
I wouldn't say I'm an ageist.
You are too.
I would just say that there are teams that are playing better basketball.
I don't know. The Lakers looked pretty darn good yesterday.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Remember, they're a 7th seed, and sooner or later, that 7th seed
I don't think so.
has to show up.
I don't think so.
I think it will.
You know,
but the thing is, they're taking on the Warriors, who are a 6th seed. So
I understand
so
that.
the matchup is actually pretty good. It's a 6-7 matchup.
Like you even stated this comment a little bit earlier, that the playoffs are a different beast. And I think these two teams are built for the playoffs. I really do. The Lakers made those end of season trades, got a few players, got a couple of nice role players that I think are really kind of finding their spot.
Mm-hmm.
When you got players like AD and LeBron really kind of showing up, I think that's going to make a big difference. And the same thing on the Warriors side. If they're able to beat the Lakers, I wouldn't count them out against the Nuggets or the Suns. I really wouldn't. There's something to be said about confidence and what you've done in the playoffs in the past. I just think that there's something about that. There's nothing tangible. There's no numbers I can show you, but there's just something about it. I'm just saying.
I'm looking up something.
Okay.
It's going to take a second to look it up, but with that said, though, just looking at the West alone.
Yeah.
You look at the Nuggets have struggled in the playoffs historically, so we won't necessarily go there right now, but let's look at the Suns, Warriors, Lakers. The Suns, they were in the finals not all that long ago with a very similar lineup of guys.
Right.
The Warriors were in the finals last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers were there in 2020. Those three teams have all been in the finals in the last 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
4 seasons.
4 seasons.
4
Yeah,
seasons.
Sure. Yeah.
Now the Lakers lineup is different. It's decently different since 2020.
Still LeBron and AD though. Even if you look back at those Bulls championships back in the 90s, Lakers before that, Celtics before that, the core is always gonna be the same. It's MJ and Scottie Pippen, and then other role players. And the role players kind of always changed. They'd go on a 2 or 3 year championship run, change out role players, and then they'd go on another 2 or 3 year championship run. So, but just to back up what you're saying though, is the cores of these teams are all still the same. It's just the role players that have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah. You want to talk Anthony Davis for a sec. So I was just looking at his numbers. He's been in the league since 2012. 2012 was his first year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He was drafted that year, first year in the league. He didn't make it to the playoffs till 2015.
Mm-hmm.
First round and done. They made it through 2 rounds in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And this was, by the way, with New Orleans. 2 rounds and then done. And then he didn't get to the playoffs until he teams up with LeBron in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they go and they win a championship. Then it was a kind of, it was a one and done against Phoenix. And then it was a one and done so far. I guess you'll say one so far against Memphis.
Yeah.
So outside of 2020,
sure,
he doesn't have the playoff experience. Now you're saying how playoff experience makes you better. He has 1 year of playoff experience, and it was the bubble year, which for a lot of people, me included, it was such a strange year
of championship experience,
of playoff experience.
He has plenty of playoff experience.
Yeah, a lot of unsuccessful playoff experience.
But that's
what I'm talking about.
But that's the new NBA too. Is who do you have in New Orleans playing alongside of him?
And that's part of it. He was the guy in New Orleans.
He was the guy, and in the new NBA, you have to not that I agree with it, because I like my old school NBA.
Yeah.
But players are teaming up, making these.
You have to.
You do. You have to now.
And that's why KD going to the Suns, it's like he had to, because Kyrie wasn't getting it done for him in Brooklyn. And look what happened when Kyrie moved to Dallas. Kyrie, you can call him a star.
I think he's done.
He puts up a lot of points. He doesn't win championships. He doesn't even win games at this point.
Yeah.
Put him aside. He knew if he had any shot of winning a championship this year, he had to go somewhere. So, and I know you hate that, but at the same time, look at him and it's like, hey, he did what he had to do to at least fight for a championship this year. And he had that option. He took that option. So you join Phoenix. You have Devin Booker. You have Chris Paul. Throw in DeAndre Ayton as a solid 4th member of the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
And you have yourself a decent lineup in Phoenix. They've yet to really make it work. But so I see what you're saying. With LeBron going to LA, Anthony Davis coming over, that was their way to create some sort of a pair to make a championship team.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. They got their championship. Will it continue to work for them? Who's to say? Denver, I would say they have the one big star in Jokic who's fighting for MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he didn't get it this year, but he was in the top 3. Former MVP, so that's not too far off. Aaron Gordon comes over, who's a
Mhm.
star in his own right? You have Murray. Their whole lineup, the whole 5 guys in the starting lineup some of them could be borderline all-stars. All
Yeah.
5 at some point in their career have been borderline all-stars, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying about Denver. They don't have the playoff experience, but they have the stars. And if you have to win a championship, you have to do it with a star. And they have 5 guys that are right there. One of them is one of the biggest stars right now in the league in Jokic. So that's why I'm high on Denver. It's just because they have everything that you need. The Lakers have most of what you need. The Warriors even have most. Phoenix has something.
Now, and I know Denver, obviously being the number 1 seed, whoever they play, whether it's the Lakers or the Warriors, they'll be the favorite. No question about
100%.
it. Vegas will have them the favorite, as they should be.
In the Western Conference Finals, you're saying?
Yes, in the Western Conference, whoever
comes out
they
of the
face.
next round. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I would not be surprised. I know you will be. I will not be surprised if the Warriors or the Lakers beat the Nuggets. I just won't be surprised. That's how much credibility I give to championship pedigree.
I will say this. If LeBron finds a way to carry this Lakers team to the playoffs, then you're going to have a lot of people bringing up the GOAT conversation again.
And see, I don't think it's LeBron James. I think it's Anthony Davis who is the key person in this. I don't think it's LeBron. I think LeBron, I'm not going to call him a role player, but I think he's playing Robin to Anthony Davis's Batman.
No, I don't fully disagree with you, but you know that just because LeBron is the LeBron name, that people are going to bring that up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't necessarily disagree with you at all.
Right.
Because I do think Anthony Davis has been a major factor in these Laker wins.
But that's how much credibility I give to championship pedigree is, even though Denver will be the favorite, as they should be, I would not be surprised at all if the Warriors or the Lakers were to be the representative for the Western Conference. I just wouldn't be surprised.
Sure. Well, we've talked a lot of the West. We haven't even got to the East, so let's take a break. When we come back, let's hop into the Eastern Conference. So stick around with us here on From the Bleachers.
Go Nick.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show, From the Bleachers, live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. Welcome back in, everybody. It's from the Bleachers, broadcasting out of the Findlay Hyundai studio here in St. George. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know.
Don't forget that if you're listening to the show on the radio, we appreciate you listeners on 99.5 or 95.3. Don't forget 93.1 in Cedar as well. But we also are streaming on YouTube. You can head on over to the Fan Sports Network YouTube page where you can watch the show live and get to see mine and Mark's beautiful bearded faces.
Yep.
Yep.
I've been talking a little bit about taking mine off.
Really?
Yeah.
You thinking about going with the clean shave again?
I don't know. We've talked about it. Macy and I have talked about
you
it
guys
a
have
little
to
bit.
plan it out.
And I think both of us like it though. But I don't know, how is it? Can you tell a difference when it's 105 outside? I mean, does it?
No, not as short as you have it.
Not
no.
as short. Okay.
No. I mean, you'll notice the difference when you shave it because the slightest of breeze will come across your face and you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's definitely different. But it's not hotter, if that's what you're wondering.
Okay.
Now, if I let mine get a little bushy, then sure, a little bit. But
Sure.
at least for me, I don't know.
Okay.
Other bearded guys can chime in, I guess.
I don't know. We've been talking about it, but I think we both like it so much that we do have to talk about it. So I told her just yesterday or this morning on our walk, I was like, I'm not going to take this off unless we talk about it because I like it when she gets, I hope I'm not sharing too much information. Macy, I'm sorry. When she gets the beard butter and she puts it on me, I
just
I
apply
like
that stuff myself.
Oh, you should have Anna do it. It's way better. It's way better.
I'm still, you kidding me? She's still asleep when I'm getting ready for work in the mornings.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, teach their own for sure.
Yeah.
If that's what works for you guys, then I stand by it.
Yeah.
I stand by it. Let's talk about the NBA a little bit more.
Okay.
We've got into, of course, talking about the West side of the NBA, talking about Western Conference. Let's get into the East. Let's take a look as well at where we're at right now. So, in the East, the Heat and the Knicks, that series is tied up at 1 apiece, 76ers and Celtics. Right now, Philly leads that one early with the 1-0 win, or not 1-0 win, obviously, 1-0 in the series as they are currently leading. So, diving into that one, where should we start? Let's start with the series that has gone on a little longer with the Heat and the Knicks. The Knicks were able to come back and get a win yesterday, 111-105 against the Heat. So the series will move on over to South Beach. And the Heat, the home crowd Heat, what can they do for their 8th seed team going up against the 5 seed Knicks? I guess we'll find out. But yesterday, in their game yesterday with the Knicks, RJ Barrett, 24, Julius Randle, 25. Jalen Brunson, though, the guy that they get from Dallas, 30 points. Josh Hart throws up an extra 14 as well. So some good scoring overall from the Knicks.
And both of us rooting for the Knicks, right?
Yeah, you know, it's funny.
I'm leaning Knicks for sure.
I was on a phone call with my brother today, and we were talking basketball as we do. And I was thinking about this game specifically and just kind of the East, right?
Mm-hmm.
But really this one, I'm like, I don't know who I want to win. Or I think I want the Knicks to win. I really do. But who do I think will win? I'm like, man, the Heat, even though the Heat lost yesterday,
They didn't have Jimmy Butler, first off.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's the heart and soul of that Heat team. He wasn't there, and they barely lost. They lost by 6. I think the Heat have all the momentum in this series, even though, yes, the Knicks did get a win. The series is tied 1-1. With Jimmy Butler in the lineup, they will have everything on their side to go and win this series. I really do. I think the Heat could find themselves as an 8 seed in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is impressive, to say the least. I think it could happen.
I'm rooting for the Knicks because I would love to see that Knicks rivalry between either Philly or Boston. And again, I'm leaning for, probably thinking Boston's going to win that series, even though they're down 1-0. I would just love to, I try not to get feeling too bad for teams, especially big market teams like the New York Knicks. But man, the NBA is better. Whatever professional sport it is, when there's certain teams doing well, and they may be the hated team in the league, like a lot of people don't like the Lakers. A lot of people don't like the Cowboys. A lot of people don't like the Knicks or the Lakers. But when they do better, the league does better.
Sure.
And the Knicks is one of those teams, I think. They've been missing from the Eastern Conference playoffs for a long time. And I do miss that New York, Philly, or New York, Boston rivalry. I would love to see that. Miami,
You know what? My entire life, I've always had something about the Knicks where it's just like, I've always kind of just liked the Knicks. Like, they're just there, especially through most of my life.
Yeah, they've never really been relevant.
Outside of Patrick Ewing when I was tiny, when I was just a little kid. They just really haven't been that relevant. They had Derrick Rose for a while, and that stretch was okay.
And Patrick Ewing in his prime, you didn't even see that. You weren't even born.
No.
You were just being born as he was kind of.
Yeah, I was born in 93.
Yeah, and
so
that's
put that in perspective. He was.
And that's kind of when he was on hold number 17 of his career.
Yeah.
So,
you're exactly right.
Anyway, yeah.
So I never really got to see the Knicks be the Knicks.
John Starks.
Yeah, he played for the Jazz for a hot second.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, just for a little bit.
Anyway, yeah.
As far as the Knicks go, there's always been something about them where I'm just like, I just want you guys to be good. And you're just not.
Yeah.
So I like seeing them better. I really do.
I do too.
I think that this is one of those years where they really need to start proving themselves, and it's only a matter of time that let's call it as it is. Donovan Mitchell's going to probably be there sooner than later too. So
yeah, I think
if
so too.
you're holding on to some Donovan Mitchell fandom, even though he was traded away from Utah, he's going to be a Knick sooner than later. If you ask me, I think so.
Now, when does Mitchell become a free agent?
2 years away. I don't know exactly
because I'll tell you what, if the Knicks can get Mitchell whenever he becomes a free agent, and you add him to this team of Julius Randle, Hart, Brunson, Barrett, that changes that team. That makes that team better for sure.
So he plays next season, and then he has an option after that.
So and
it's a player option, so it's his option.
I can't imagine him not obviously looking at free agent offers.
Now, if he were to say that he wants that offer, that's he's contracted that year for $37 million. So if he accepts the option, he's accepting $37 million. But who's to say there's not something brighter on the other side?
Exactly. So. And getting back to where he wants to go play in Madison Square Garden with the Knicks, and if you add him to this Knicks roster with Randall and said company, that's a pretty good team. That really does
especially
elevate them.
With what Jalen Brunson's doing right now.
Yeah.
Now, I know that at the time it kind of felt like they were choosing Jalen Brunson or Donovan Mitchell. Now, what if you could get both? Could they make it work? Hopefully. I mean, if they can make it work somehow, the Knicks could be an unstoppable force here in the near future. And how good would that be to have the Celtics, who I think can hold on to enough to stay pretty relevant. 76ers are still relevant. If the Knicks can get there and be relevant,
yeah.
I mean, they still have to wait through at least one more season. because again, this is just all the speculation we've heard that from Donovan Mitchell's camps that it's basically the second he has an option to go to New York, he's going to take that option.
Right.
If that happens, then yeah, that could be very helpful to the Knicks. We'll see. But yeah, right now in the Heat Knicks series, I like the Knicks, but I just think that the Heat are on a roll right now, which is saying something for a team that is coming in as the 8th seed.
Yeah.
They were a play-in tournament team.
And again, like you said, with the Lakers and the Warriors, you got the 6th and the 7th seed, and this one, you have the 8th
and the 5.
seed and the 5 seed. So is there a big advantage for New York? Probably not. But I'm still going for the Knicks.
Yep. The Knicks would face the winner if they win that series, 76ers and Celtics. Philly gets the win early in the series.
And they start their next game 2, in about 24 minutes.
Yep, that game's coming up shortly, and again in Boston. And this is another one of those situations like we talked about with Warriors-Lakers, where 76ers, as the 3 seed, they just want to get some early wins and take home court advantage with them to Philly. So that's big. That's exactly what you want. They already did that. They've accomplished that. If they lose this game against the Celtics, it's not the end of the world. You're sitting 1-1 going to Philly.
And that's what the lower seed, the team that does not have home court advantage, that's their goal going in. Let's get a split. Now, if you win both, that's just the cherry on top. But their goal going in is to get a split. And the Lakers got that. The Heat got that, and now Philly has that at least secured for a 1-1. Now, they might get both. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see tonight. But that's the goal going in. And, you look at the Denver-Phoenix series, both of those games being in Denver that they won. Phoenix is like, okay, we didn't get the split. However, now we're going back home. Now we got to win 2. Yeah. I mean, the Nuggets, you got to tip their hat to them. They did what they were supposed to do. They won both games. They won their both home court games. So Phoenix has to have the mentality now, since they didn't get their split, of, okay, now we've got to go to our home court and we've got to protect it and try to steal a win on Denver's home court at some point. But there's 3 teams that have already done that. They've already stolen a game against the higher seed on the higher seed's home court.
Yeah.
So, and back in the day, the quote was, a series doesn't begin until a visiting team beats the home team. That's when the series really starts to heat up. And round 2 of the NBA, 3 out of the 4, that means these series are already heating up.
Yeah.
Already heating up.
They are. They really are. And that's what makes this fun. Making sure that these teams are staying close and even, and they're flip-flopping games. That makes it fun. That makes it enjoyable. I looked up something because I was curious. I
saw you working away over there.
I don't know Eastern geography all that well. So I
Really?
wanted to look up something. I mean, I do, but I was curious about distances between cities. We're talking about the Knicks, the Sixers, the Celtics.
It's not far.
I know that they're all tight back there. I was curious how tight they are. So I looked up like driving times. How long would it take?
Is the odd
Miami's easily the odd man out. Yeah, that's not even close. Like, it takes as long to fly to Miami as it would to drive between
Let me try to
cities.
take a guess on this.
Okay, so let's go. New York's the one in the middle.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So let's say New York to Philly.
New York to Philly. I'm going with a hour and 30 minutes.
Pretty close. It says an hour 48 right now.
Okay.
As of right now.
And I can always take off on Google time. I can always knock that off. I can do it now.
We can knock off 18. Sure. All right. What about Boston and New York?
Oh, now that's closer, I think. I want to say it's only like, not that I've ever done this before, and it is one of my bucket lists. I do want to go back east and go to a Yankee game, go to a Red Sox game, go to the U.S. Open tennis. That's kind of on my bucket list.
Okay.
Not to run the Boston Marathon like Mr. Brent Rao. I'm going to go like 45 minutes.
No.
Not even
It's
close.
even further.
It is
It's
it
further
is further
than Philly.
No kidding.
3 hours, 45 minutes.
Oh, see, I didn't think it was that far.
So it's like driving from here to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
You know, and in Philly is like here to Las Vegas.
Okay.
So if we were New York, Las Vegas
Yeah,
is Philly, and Salt Lake is Boston.
That's
to put it into that perspective.
To have three major teams, those are three major markets being that close.
Yeah.
And I knew they were close, but that's pretty cool.
Not to mention the fact that you have two teams in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously have a team in Philly, a team in Boston. Not too far away. What else do you have close by? DC's not all that far.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the Wizards close by. There's so much back east. It's crazy how tight everything is back there. And you could easily, if your favorite team was the Knicks, you could drive within 4 hours and not only go to every home game, but every away game against the Nets, the Celtics, Philly, and the Wizards, which is pretty much your whole conference or your whole division.
Yeah, and I will tell
crazy.
you, it's so funny that you bring up geography a little bit. I know American geography, like cities and stuff like that, pretty well.
Like I know what, you know where they are for the most part.
And I attribute that to sports.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, no doubt about it. I attribute that all to sports, not to my geography teacher in high school. Sorry.
It's true.
I
I know
attribute that to
everything based
sports.
off of sports, like and off of the divisions and conferences and stuff. You know what's funny is I see this all the time. Every so often you'll see these things pop up where someone's doing a challenge at like a halftime or like a timeout at a basketball game or something.
Right.
And I saw this recently. It was at a basketball game, timeout. They pull a fan aside. They're like, you have 30 seconds. Name as many football teams as you can. Go. As many NFL teams as you can. I was like, dude, I could get like the whole league in 30 seconds.
Right.
You walk away with like 4,
Right.
4 or 5. But yeah, it's because of geography. You go, I'm like, okay, let's go with the Westerns first, and then we'll go to the South divisions, and then we'll go to the East divisions, and we'll circle back up to the North divisions, right?
Yeah.
You do it based off cities. It's just, geography and sports. It's a good combo. If you want
I'm
your
with
kids
you.
to learn geography, teach them sports
Get
first.
them into sports. Absolutely.
Get them excited about watching professional sports.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So, man, this NBA playoff series right now, the second round, it's a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite times to be a sports fan is this time of year.
It is a good time for sure.
So, well, let's take a break. More when we come back. We'll break down some of the NHL playoffs going on as well and more. So stick around with us here on From the Bleachers.
Did you know that St. George News has a new app? Download the St. George News app today and stay up to date on everything happening in Southern Utah. Get instant notifications on news, weather, sports, and more. Download the app today and get your local news now.
Hey, it's Sheldon Demke. Check out the latest episode of What's on the Menu, a behind-the-scenes tour of local restaurants. We'll see some of their favorite dishes and get an inside look on how these dishes are prepared. Check out this week's episode at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab.
As a local business owner, it's important to get the word out about your business. More people equals more revenue for you. Get your business in front of over 160,000 people in southern Utah each week with St. George News. Contact St. George News today.
Media is everywhere. It's a part of our daily life, our routine. Not just for entertainment, but to stay informed. Local media has the biggest impact on your daily life. It's what's around you, what matters. And at Canyon Media, our goal is to deliver the very best in local entertainment, news, and media. From our award-winning radio stations like 99.9 Coney Country to Southern Utah's #1 source for local news, St. George News, we believe in delivering free, fast, and accurate local news, entertainment, and information to all of Southern Utah through our entertaining on-air personalities and music, compelling local shows, and community events like the City of St. George 4th of July celebration and charitable events like Coney Coins for Kids. From our entire team of dedicated designers, videographers, salespeople, digital marketers, writers, and on-air talent, thank you for letting us be a part of your daily life. Canyon Media, here for you.
Check out this week's edition of TGIF on stgeorgenews.com. TGIF is your weekend adventure guide to all the fun and exciting things going on in Southern Utah this weekend. Find this week's edition at stgeorgenews.com and click the shows on the menu tab. Have a blast this weekend.
Hey, it's Caden Formaster.
And Mark Musgrave, the voice you know with the Fan Sports Network.
Check out our local sports radio show From the Bleachers live every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Listen to us on the radio on 99.5 or 95.3 FM.
You can also listen through the Fan Sports Network app or watch the show live on the Fan Sports Network YouTube page.
The Fan Sports Network is your home of Utah Tech Trailblazers, high school sports, and the pros.
The Fan Sports Network, Southern Utah's home for local sports. We're wrapping it up here on the Fan Sports Network. It's From the Bleachers. Caden Formaster, Mark Musgrave.
The voice you know. Now, Caden, you just got married here not too long ago. How long ago was it? September.
Back in September.
Now, did you know that there's new wedding rules for 2023?
Oh, no. No, I did not,
Yeah,
but
there
I
is.
can only imagine what those new wedding rules are.
So here's a few of the new rules. I've got, there's 15 here. I'm not going to go through all 15, but here are some of the rules, okay?
Okay.
No more engagement parties. Did you have an engagement party?
No.
Okay, see, you're already following the new rules.
Yeah.
You didn't even know it.
No. Yeah, I didn't do that.
No. Now, this one was, is September considered summer?
We were 5 or 6 days, 5 days away from the end of summer.
Okay, so you broke this rule.
It was, let's be honest, the weather was fall.
It was
really fall
good.
weather.
No outdoor summer weddings.
Yeah, ours was definitely more fall weather of a wedding.
Your closest friends, not you, should control the guest list.
I don't trust any of my friends. They wouldn't even know
Yeah.
half the people who would be coming in.
Never say black tie optional. Always choose. These are the new rules for 2023.
Never say it.
Never say black tie optional, like on the
Just
invitation.
let people decide what they want to wear.
Yes. Or is this saying choose for them? Like it's black tie or it's casual. Like make the choice. That's how I'm reading this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. No kids. If kids are needed for the ceremony, a car should be waiting.
We did no kids at our wedding.
Oh, that's right. You did. That's right. Yeah. Did you like that? Are you glad
100%.
you did that?
I'm very glad that we did that.
Okay.
It was a bit of a fiasco.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to make it all work.
Sure.
So we did hire a babysitter and just say, hey, just, if you do have kids, they can come to the reception. It was just the ceremony. We didn't want kids at the ceremony. But anyway, so we hired a babysitter and said, hey, we have a babysitter, just free babysitter for you guys. We paid for them out of our pocket. So drop off the kids at this place and they can all hang out with each other. And then after the ceremony's over, which was only like 30 minutes. So really they only had to have their kids being watched for 30, 45 minutes. Then go pick them up while we're getting things ready for the reception. Come back over. And it worked. It worked out really well.
So here's one. And we have an out of town wedding that we're going to this fall, and I don't think I can actually abide by this, but this is the new rule for 2023.
Okay.
If you travel out of town to go to a wedding, you don't need to get the couple a gift. Actually, all gifts should be banned.
No gifts for wedding couples.
If you travel, if it's a destination or a travel that you have to go to.
I don't fully disagree with that.
I don't fully disagree either, but we have a really, really close friend of ours that's their daughter's getting married. I don't know if I can do that.
Maybe gift optional.
Yeah.
If you're asking somebody to travel really far to come to your wedding,
I know.
it's like them being there is a gift in itself.
And it's costing money.
And it's costing them a lot of money out of their pocket. If they want to give a gift,
yeah, I think
by
that's,
all means.
I like that. I think it's to be optional. Here's one. Give us a good kiss. like really lay one on. Did you? I can't remember yours.
Oh,
and Anna's
yeah.
kiss.
You got to give him a good kiss.
Yeah. Tongue. Now here. Now this is the last one that we'll go over.
Okay.
Dancing is mandatory for everyone that's able.
We didn't do any dancing.
Yeah, and that's probably good too.
I didn't want dancing
I'm
because
not.
I don't like the attention on me.
Yeah,
So for the reception, our reception was basically just come and hang out.
Sure.
And we'll, we took time to talk to everybody and we just
Yeah.
kind of hopped around. We're just like, just eat some food, have a good time. We didn't do a lot of the traditional stuff. Like we didn't do a cake cutting. We didn't
Yeah.
do dancing. We didn't do any of that stuff. We're like, there's music. If you guys want to dance, feel free. You don't have to. There's plenty of snacks. Just eat, hang out as long as you want, go home whenever you want. We didn't care. We were like, let's just have it nice and simple.
yeah.
So, yeah. That's interesting. Is that all of them? Was that the last on the list?
That was the last on the list. Yeah, there was more, but they weren't as entertaining as the ones that
Yeah,
we
fair
covered.
enough. Fair enough. New wedding rules of 2023.
Yep.
Yep. Well, now you know if you're getting married or know someone or maybe your kid is and they're planning weddings.
Yep.
Now you know the rules.
Love it.
Now you know the rules. Let's talk about Stanley Cup playoffs.
Go Knights,
NHL.
go!
Golden Knights tonight, 7:30. You can, I believe, all hockey right now is on ESPN, so you should be able to catch that one through ESPN. But let's talk about it. So again, yes, you had the Knights and the Oilers tonight. That game's going on in Las Vegas. Game 1 of the series.
Mhm.
The Knights got through the first one in 4-1. The Oilers got through in 4-2 against the Kings. Yes, the Golden Knights are favored, but what are you doing there?
I was just looking at my arms.
Okay, all right.
You caught me.
I did. The Knights are favored against the Oilers, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Knights are the 1 seed coming out of that side of the bracket. Up to the top, though, you have the Kraken, who lead 1-0 over Dallas.
Seattle Kraken, best team name in all of pro sports. It's a good one. And, the 2 expansion teams, both Seattle and Las Vegas, they hit home runs
100%
with their
Yeah.
names. I mean, but I love the name, the Seattle Kraken.
So do I.
That's awesome.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's a great name. They lead 1-0 over Dallas, and Dallas is the team that's favored.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle sneaks in as a wild card team, so Dallas is definitely favored there. The Toronto Maple Leafs didn't get it done against the Panthers. Florida leads 1-0. And yes, Toronto is the higher seeded team, is the 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
But the Panthers, remember, they beat the Boston Bruins, who everyone thought the Bruins, this was their year.
Mhm.
They broke that record of the most goals scored in a season, I believe is what it was, something like that. Best season they've ever had. The best season by far that the Bruins have ever had. And maybe even a hockey team in a long time has had, right? They just look phenomenal. They lose in the first round to the Florida Panthers.
Right.
That's the thing about hockey, though. I feel like it's a sport where you don't always have to be the best team to win a series, even. Not just a game, but a series. Again, playoffs, they're finicky. They're weird. Carolina, the Hurricanes are going to be taking on the New Jersey Devils. Carolina won their series against the Islanders 4-2, and the Jersey Devils, they win 4-3 over the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you ever hear the story about why the New Jersey Devils are named what they are?
No, why?
It's a long story, but basically there's like folklore and stuff that goes into it about.
Oh, really?
Look up the Jersey Devil when you have a chance.
I just
It's a whole
remember
thing.
when you mentioned New Jersey Devils to me, I just always think the Seinfeld episode where Putty and Elaine and Jerry and they all go to a New Jersey Devil game and against the Rangers, and Putty's a big New Jersey Devils fan. The rest of them are Ranger fans, and he just goes up to this priest in a car, and he's like, and his face is all painted because he's a face painter, and he goes, "The devils, the devils," and the priest thought he actually saw the devil. Anyway, it's a funny episode. You'll have to watch it.
That's funny. Streaming for the Knights game is on ESPN, just so you know.
I know. I saw that. I thought I don't have ESPN, but I have the Plus, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it.
You might be able to grab that. It does say it's free to watch,
but blackout restrictions do apply. So who knows? You never know with those kinds of things. All right, well, we're wrapping up the show here. Thank you for joining us. It's been a good one today.
Yeah, good show
I've been
today.
very pleased with our show today.
Me too. Good show today.
So
Pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah, a little pat on the back. Tomorrow, again, we'll be right here, same time, same place.
Same bat station, same bat time.
Yes.
That's too old for you. It's an
Yeah,
Adam
I
West,
don't
Adam
know.
West Batman
Oh,
reference.
I like Adam West.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Anyways, we'll be back Thursday. Friday, we have games, so we'll be covering some baseball on Friday, so stick around for that. But until then, thank you for joining us. Have a good one.